Hello everybody and welcome back to KSP POV. In the last episode we did a flyby of the Mun. Jebediah Kerman was the first Kerbal in the Janus project to EVA outside of the Mun. However, all the science that he had worked hard for in that entire trip ended up getting jettisoned off at the last moment, so we ended up with just a minimal amount of science from that whole endeavor. So we are out now currently behind in the space race as far as technology wise. On Friday, KXP showed off their pretty impressive technology. However, it just goes to show, if you did catch that episode, then you know how that mission went out. But if you didn't, then all I have to say is it just goes to show that landing on the Mun is not the simplest of tasks, and in Kerbal Space Program it's pretty impressive when you can get it, and it just reminds you how impressive it is when we can do this in the real world. But we are going to be just jumping in real fast, doing a quick mission, doing that flyby once again, this time with Valentina Kerman in the cockpit. But before we go, we're going to unlock this KV-2P reentry module, which most importantly now has 2 seats available, because when we go to the Mun, when we finally land on the Mun, we're going to want to have more than one Kerbal. We're going to want a pilot and a scientist at the very least. So let's go ahead and test that. Even though we don't need 2 Kerbals aboard for the flyby, we're going to grab it and integrate it into the previous rocket from the previous episode, and we're going to bring Bob along as well. So I'll meet you out on the launch pad. Alright, so here we are on the launch pad with the same rocket as before. The only changes that we made is we upgraded the command capsule for the Kerbals, and we took off the scanning tech because we are not going to put this in the polar orbit like we did in the last episode, but rather this is just going to be a generalized comsat for us going forward. So we'll be putting that in an equatorial orbit. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop in the cockpit. We are joined, once again, Valentina Kerman is joined by there he is, by Bob Kerman, scientist. Let's go ahead and get all of our stuff activated and we'll be on our way. I guess that's all Bob really has access to. Alright. SAS on. Let's see, we'll get our warnings up. Here, keep an eye on our cameras there. We'll keep an eye on, oh, you know what, let's put our orbit up here. There we go. Alright, not too many screens to work with, but it'll do. I like that we've got kind of a little window to look through there, viewing port. And our way out of the capsule is right there, pretty easy. So I guess without further ado, we're gonna want the instrument lights on. We'll turn on our clock. Yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and full throttle up. SAS is on. Get permission from ground control. Thank you very much, and where is the stage button? Where's the stage button? There's the engine button. Well, unfortunately, there is no stage button. That's so weird. So, oh, there it is. There it is. Just inconveniently all the way up there. Okay, ready and fire. Once again, we're at a weird angle. Gonna rotate. And we're probably gonna skip through some of this launch, and I'll see you when we're a little bit closer on our way to orbit, unless anything happens. I'll see you soon. Okay, well that's no good. But it did flip last time as well. Oh, come on, bring yourself up. Bring yourself up. Bring yourself up. There we go. We'll just kind of keep ourselves stably up. Okay, what's our apoapsis looking like? Okay, this is a very unstable rocket. I didn't do any tests with it after making the changes, so it's not ideal right now. Alright, we're regaining our altitude. Alright, our apoapsis is almost out of the Kármán line. How much resources do we have? We're running out. Alright, with an apoapsis above 100, we'll go ahead and kill that. Let's plot in circularization burn at the next apoapsis. And we're going to go ahead and plot that in with remote tech. Whew. Alright, so maneuvers delta V is 1498, and we have, where is total? That's our stage. 1498. We have enough in our total, but we are not going to be able to circularize on just this stage alone. We are running a little dangerous now. There we go. Alright, so we are in space now, so we can actually, let's close that, can deploy our satellite, or our solar panels. Good to see them there. Alright, and might as well deploy our satellite solar panels as well. Get that all open. Excellent. Okay. So, okay, everybody. This is not looking good. Let's go ahead and kill that. Yes, thank you, ground proximity. Thank you. This situation is quickly getting out of hand. So we are going to point ourselves retrograde. And we are actually going to bring this craft home. We're gonna, I don't trust that we have enough fuel, Delta V, to get into orbit and then get to the Mun and back. And we don't have the ability to transfer fuel between our probe and this. Maybe we'll take a look at that real fast in the VAB, but for now we are going to abort this mission and head on home. Might as well do the science if we have the ability to. That's science. Yeah. Just a little bit of residuals to have, nothing important, but we'll go ahead and collect that into the science collection unit. Whew. Our parachutes were not rated for this amount of weight, so we are unfortunately going to have to jettison a lot of what we have. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, and so stage 2 should be our parachutes. So we will we will hold off on staging those. We're now back in the atmosphere. Gonna kind of watch that as we go along. Maybe we'll get a view of the Firefly re-entry effects now, now that we've added it. Was that our parachute? This may prove challenging. Where's our parachute? Oh, right there. Whew. All right. Chute is safe to deploy, so let's just go ahead and deploy it. Too high. All right. Let's arm it then. Whew. And if our parachutes don't deploy, then we're gonna have to hop out ourselves in true spherical pod fashion. All right, 2,500. Yep. Ooh, look at that. As soon as we pass through the cloud layer. So hopefully at 1,000 this should open up fully. Yep, there we go. We can do low space science, right? No, nothing to be had there. Oh, I need to, oh, that's right. I should have crew reports added into this action group. Vertical velocity is less than 6, so I feel like we're doing pretty good. Whew, all right. Well, Bob, how you doing? That was unfortunate that did not work out well, but thankfully we landed in one piece. Everyone's alive. We can just fix the things that we need to fix and send it right back on out. So let's go ahead and bring this on home. But they got some tickets for that. Researching 50 or more science points, splashdown in the water. Splashdown in the water, horizontally Mach 1, and withstanding a G-force acceleration of 4 Gs or more. The first flight for that scientist, and he's excited, and he'll be ready for more. So we are going to upgrade the spaceplane, hangar, and the runway, and we're going to do a quick little mission to grab a little bit more science, because I have a feeling that if we can unlock one extra part, it will make our entire life a whole lot easier. All right, here we are once again on the runway. Today we are going to attempt to fly as far south as we can. We're going to place a waypoint right around here. Hit apply, save, and that is going to be our destination. We're going to try to land in the southern pole, southern Arctic region, and hopefully grab some science. If we end up having to take this and dip it into the water, then so be it. We'll probably try to get some Arctic sea science, hopefully, if we can make it that far. Yeah, Jebediah once again in the cockpit. Hopefully, we did upgrade the runway, so it'll be a little bit easier of a takeoff. However, we still have that bump right there, so we got to make sure that we don't break our tail on that yet again. So let's go ahead and turn our engines on. We've got our brakes going, throttle up. Get ourselves up to full speed. Kill the brakes. Alright, and slowly start pitching up. Not enough to break our tail fin. Come on, We broke our tail fin, didn't we? Yeah, that bump is ridiculous. Let's see. Yep. That's a broken tail fin. But the craft still flies. Luckily, the game doesn't recognize that being too broken, so I'm gonna allow it. We're gonna keep flying. As you see, we still have full control, so we're just gonna go with it. But anyways, let's go ahead and point ourselves towards our target. The heading is 177.3. And there we have it. Roughly 170-ish. 177. So now we're going to go ahead and climb up to a nicer cruising altitude. And then in for the long flight. Oh. We never put our gear in. Whoops. We can go ahead and bring up our atmospheric autopilot. And plot that into our atmospheric autopilot. Let that take over. It's going to hold us at 13,000 feet, hopefully, and that will give us better efficiency with our engines being at the higher altitude. Do we have any missions that we're doing here? No. Alright, so we've got 2 hours and 21 minutes worth of fuel, and it's only going to take us about 40 some odd minutes to get there. So we can go ahead and just keep everything as it is. Time warp, and I will see you when we get there. We are now flying over Kerbin's cold ocean, so we should be arriving at the Arctic shelf soon. Alright, we're going to plug in the new heading, and we are going to start going towards the sun, because I feel like I'd rather land in the sun than the nighttime. I feel like that's pretty obvious. All right, so let's dip it below the clouds, see what we're looking at. Ooh, this is a little scary. Going into darkness. Ooh, okay, all right, so there is a little bit to see. Can't tell that it's actually snowing or anything. We're getting some air effects. Side of the cockpit, I don't know if you can see that. It might be a little too bright. But we are now in a situation where we can land basically anywhere. We are on the flattest part of the southern ice shelf. So let's fly for a little bit longer. It's a good morning to fly. All right, so now that we have a little bit more sunlight to our advantage, let's go ahead and dip back down below the clouds. And we'll kill our time warp. Physics warp, I should say. Oh. Looks like there's a snowstorm over there, so we will be able to see a snowstorm after all. That's excellent. Alright, so our physics warp is killed. We are going very fast, so I do want to still cover some of that distance, though. This will be tricky, because we do have to come to a safe landing. We do have parachutes, but let's try not to rely on them. Alright, so go ahead and we are going to kill our throttle. Oh yeah, snow! Look at that! Ah, that's fun. Alright, yeah, so we're flying over the southern ice. That's all we need to know. Let's go ahead. Put on our extra cameras, flatten ourselves out so we're nice and horizontal. Then here is our altitude, so we gotta make sure we keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and put our landing gear down. There we go, we can see that. Alright, let's try to come in for a decent landing. Hard to see where the ground is. Oh, we can see it there. Alright, we are rapidly approaching. Let's kind of level ourselves out a little bit. Ooh, scary but fun. Alright, let's put on our brakes, lean back. Whew. And I believe we have successfully and safely landed. Now we just need to come to a halt. Let's go ahead and turn our main engines off. Oh, and just like that, we come to a halt in a beautiful new biome, never before seen in the Janus Project. Wonderful. Jebediah, you are awesome. So let's go ahead and do our science. Not a lot. Unfortunately, this is not as lucrative as I thought it was going to be. However, it was fun to do nonetheless. Alright, so time to hop out, do a little science. There's no need for him to have his helmet on, so we can go ahead and remove that. Do an EVA report while we're here. And then let's go ahead and perform some EVA science. Yeah. I wonder how hard it is to hit a golf ball in snow. So let's go ahead and take that. Jebediah, how you feeling? Proud that you made it? That's good. Now hopefully he can get back onto the ladder. Oh, come on, climb. Well, unfortunately, Jeb decided to get himself stuck underneath the plane and is unable to move, so we're gonna have to send a crew out to wake him up. I think he just got a little too snow frozen. But that wasn't a lot of science for us, so unfortunately I don't think we unlocked what we wanted to unlock. But we'll take a look at what we can do when we get back. So it turns out that part of the mod required for the Auroras is no longer working, so we're just gonna grab Jeb and call it a day. Oh, I got a ribbon for landing on the South Pole. Nice. Okay, so we got Valentina out on the launch pad once again, early morning. Well, let's just go ahead and do this quick because I just want to get the science. That's all I care about right now. There we go. So now what we're doing is instead of taking an airplane, we're going to just head for the North Pole via rocket. Let's go ahead and full throttle up and clearance from the launch pad. Excellent. Let's go ahead and launch. This time we're going to be heading to the north, trying to get that North Pole science. And that's all the Delta V we have. So let's go ahead and kick off that stage. Say goodbye to it. We'll probably see it again eventually. But not right now. Actually, let's go prograde for right now. Get a nice view of Kerbin as we go along. We are in space. Valentina Kerbin once again. However, this time only for a short suborbital hop. Not enough time to do any kind of EVA science, even though we now have the EVA kit. Thank you, ground proximity. So, now that we are on our way home, let's go ahead and point ourselves retrograde. Make sure we don't burn up in the atmosphere. We have an eye on our ablator, as well as our pod temperature, so that's nice to see. But for now, all we got to do is time warp in. We didn't go very high, so I'm not in fear that we will burn up in any way, but we do also need to make sure that our parachute stages when they need to. Alright, chutes are armed. They should pop at about 2,500 meters. Flying over the Kerbin's desert. I think we already have this science, unfortunately. There we go. Our parachutes deployed. Just as scheduled. This wasn't even worth it. Alright, so we have Valentina Kerman on the launch pad once again. Let's just quickly go through this because I just want to get this done. We want to have our craft Valentina safely touch down on the North Pole this time, and just to get the science that we don't have there. So let's go ahead and get SAS on. Get all of our warnings and systems turned on. Get the lights going. Full throttle. Clearance from the launch pad. Good enough for me. Let's fire. Valentina, make me proud. Side boosters flamed out. Let's go ahead and get that. Our thrust to weight ratio is still over 1, so we're going to be going to space today. Alright, our apoapsis is passing the Kármán line. We're going to make it to space. I'm going to bring it all the way up to about 90, and then cut off. Let's hop into map mode real fast, plot in a maneuver so that way we can make sure that we can make it far enough to get where we want to go. Just burn up as much fuel as we can. Maybe we shift that a little bit. Let's get our trajectories mod on so we can see where we're going. Yeah, that seems good enough. Let's plot that into our maneuver. We gotta move quickly. Only 45 seconds. Alright, so that maneuver is plotted in. It seems like we are pointed correctly. Let's go ahead and time warp to said maneuver. There we go. Not quite in orbit, but it will do. Alright, we've got 8 minutes until we have to re-enter. Let's unbuckle ourselves. Oh, it's not going to let us unbuckle. Shoot. Alright, well, we'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. The crew EVA. Okay, so unfortunately we don't have our RCS pack, so we're not going to be able to do this EVA report and still manage to make it back into the craft. So unfortunately all we can do is that EVA report and then quickly board once again and take a second to look around. It's always nice to be able to float around a capsule, not be cramped inside your seat the entire time. Anyways. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to want to point ourselves retrograde. We're actually going to bring in our trajectory a little bit, because we're going way too far past the pole. And can we go this way? Try to make it more centered on the pole. That's looking good. That's looking good. And I think that's good. Maybe we'll do prograde a little bit. Oh, we ran out of fuel in that last maneuver, but hey, it got us there. All right, so we have no more fuel. We are on impact with the ground. So let's go ahead and time warp forward a little bit. Point ourselves retrograde when we get there. We're gonna go ahead and stage off our lower stage. Whew, all right. So we are coming back. Hopefully we'll land in the northern pole, and hopefully we can get enough science that we can unlock the thing that we want to unlock. This whole episode, my whole goal was to get ourselves to the Mun, to get that flyby science, but after a disastrous first launch in the beginning of the episode, I really needed to shift gears and focus on getting those fuel ducts, because once we get that, our trip to the Mun will be a whole lot easier. I was hoping to sneak ahead another milestone, but unfortunately, today's episode, all about the science, but as long as we can get this North Pole science going, and it's enough, then I'll be happy. Ooh, there is the Firefly re-entry effects coming back. Do I have another camera going upwards? Yes, I do. Here is the effects via first-person mode. Ooh, that's fun to see. Oh, that's so cool. We even get to see it moving and twisting. Alright, so we're no longer on fire. It's good to see. We'll wait till our parachute is safe to deploy. And then we'll go ahead and deploy it. So it is safe to deploy. We're going to go ahead and stage it. Or not stage it, but arm it. Time warp below the clouds. There we go. There is our parachute. And at 1000 it should open up. There we go. Perfect. And that brings us over Kerbin's northern ice shelf, which is exactly where we want to be. And since we are coming down very safely, I believe that this will be a success. Whoo-wee, there we go. Valentina safely back on planet Kerbin. Alright, so let's go ahead and open our bay doors, do our science. Alright, once again, not a lot being grabbed here, very small pieces, but enough for us to be happy. Can we tilt our craft over? There we go. That'll make getting out a little bit easier, hopefully. Ooh. Ah, North Pole. Wonderful. Not as snowy as the South, but now that we are outside, we can safely do an EVA report as well as some EVA science. Good luck, Valentina. Go long. Oh, that was fun. No EVA science from that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright. Well, Valentina, you did a wonderful job. Hopefully that is enough science for us to move forward. We'll check it out, and I'll let you know here if it is, and if so, then in the next episode we are going to revisit our Lunar flyby, and we're going to go ahead and get all that science, and maybe even try to put some boots on the ground if KXP hasn't beaten us to it by that point. But anyways, that is where I'm going to leave today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward for more POV. If you did, think about subscribing. Drop me a like, let me know your thoughts, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.